Imagine having your entire classic Nintendo, Sega, Sony, NEC, and SNK library available to play on one console. That's the reality with Polymega. We touched on this new look retro console back when it was known as RetroBlox, but they have just announced their planned release for early 2019. For anyone not in the know, Polymega is a clone console like nothing we've seen before. The system is separated into two parts, the CD base unit and the console module. You are able to swap between several console modules, which allow you to play your library of NES, Genesis 32X, SNES, and even Turbo Grafx titles. Each module comes with Polymega's own spin on the system's controller. But for me, the biggest feature is the ability to play retro CD systems, including Sega CD, TurboGrafx, NEO GEO, and biggest of all, Sony PlayStation. As someone whose PlayStation has been slowly fading away, having the ability to play Spyro, Crash, and my entire collection HD is a really big deal. But, just announced today, Polymega will officially support Sega SATURN on day one. This is where the red flags start to pop up. As much as I want to play SATURN HD, as my console is dying like my PS1, we all know how troublesome the SATURN has been to emulate. In recent years though, emulators have started to make real progress. The bulk of that success has come down to Rifiga and the emulator Mednafen. I mention this because Polymega confirmed to me personally on Twitter that she's actually been assisting them on getting SATURN to run at full speed on the device. No word yet if they're just straight up using Mednafen, but they are going to give us a preview of SATURN running on the system. This is probably the biggest deal when it comes to retro clone consoles in years. As someone who prefers using physical media with real controllers, for many old CD-based systems like PlayStation and SATURN, the laser is the most volatile component of it, and getting replacement parts is near impossible these days. Now, there are other alternatives, like the flash card being developed for SATURN at the moment, but if I was just going to copy a bunch of ISOs onto an SD card, what's stopping me from using my emulators on Ouya or RetroArch? For me, it's about picking the game off the shelf, popping it into a CD tray, and using the controller it was designed for, which is something that Polymega have yet to address. How will it be possible to use my original CD controllers if a module isn't being made for them? That's just one of the questions we passed on to Polymega, and we'll let you know if they respond. But if this is really what they claim it is, then there is some major potential for the future. Most significantly, the N64 in HD. Nothing will make me happier than putting my N64 cartridge into a device and no longer have to worry about getting a blurry, smeary picture. But they have pointed out that some legal issues like non-expired patents will keep this from happening in the near future. This will also explain why we don't see Dreamcast for a few years. But what about lesser known systems like Atari 7800 or Jaguar, Amiga CD32, or maybe something like the NEC PCFX? Yeah, nah. The site was supposed to launch their pre-order today, but as soon as it went live, the server crashed and they spent the next day just getting it live again. But the base unit will set you back $250 US, with about $60 each with the cartridge models. Is this the future of clone consoles? Or are you just not convinced? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you all next time.